it's time to be my own man, and there I am, a 5-year-old being like, I've got to figure this out, right?
Wow.
The primary loving caretaker who was supposed to be, coddling me is gone, and
Yeah.
so it's now up to me. So I became independent really early, and I think that really set me on this entrepreneurial path. Um, you see it when I'm 8, 9 years old, I'm selling stuff through the neighborhood. I've got catalogs of stationery, and I'm walking. Because I was able to do this thing. I was able to connect like I want that, and what do I need to do to get that,
Yeah.
right? And so in this case, I remember specifically it was a bow and arrow. I wanted a bow and arrow, and I knew to get it, I needed to sell 12 pieces of stationery because I calculated the commissions, right? And so I did, and I went all day. I woke up fairly early on a Saturday, and I walked until the sun went down, knocked every door in 3 neighborhoods, and I did it. And I made my 12th sale, and I walked home, and I just fell on the ground. But I was like, I was a successful salesman today. I got what I wanted, and
Yeah.
I did it in one day. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
great.
So I just kind of had that vibe early on.
So, John, do you think so you're talking about this motivation, you just had it, right? It's like, I want that, so I need to do this to get that. Is that something you're born with? Did you teach yourself that? Was the accident the thing that made that? Or what advice do you have? Like, I get it because I'm motivated, I'm a high achiever, but what about the person that's struggling
Yeah.
taking that step?
I think that's a good question, and I see it in personality type differences, right? But I think every personality type and everyone's approach to life, you can find your motivation, and your motivation comes from, I'm going to say, your why. And your why, you've heard that and you've read it in self-help books and stuff like that, but the why can be as shallow as a bow and arrow, which is a fantastic why because it's short term and you can get it and you know exactly how to get it, right? And you can usually find what I like to call the fastest path to cash.
Mhm.
Sometimes those short-term whys are a great way to find motivation, right? So for example, yeah, a bow and arrow, or you legitimately want to get a Tesla, and you have 6 months, and you give yourself 6 months to do it, and if I can earn $15,000 by that 6 month mark, that's what I need to get it. Well, then that's easy, that's measurable, you can do it. Sometimes we set our motivations and our whys so far out and so nebulous that it's hard for them to be tangible. It's like I want to be that billionaire who has the Tony Stark house on the cliffside in California.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, how do you get there? It's like nobody knows actually the path because it's going to be this jagged, changing directions every 2 years to even get there. You don't know that path, but you know the path 6 months from now.
Yeah. I think of that often. I'm thinking about these little tangible goals that you can measure. And what I like to think of it as is a win streak.
Hmm.
And, you can create this momentum. And if you can just get that little win, and then that second little win, and you can see it, you start building momentum that you can really start to step on.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I've got 5, soon to be 6 children. And I don't even I don't know if I told you that. Yeah, we're expecting in July. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, we're excited, and it's fun to see this with children too because it's more clear. I feel like when you're working with the little kids because their motivations are easily measurable and they're small. It's less
Yeah.
complicated as an adult, and so you can see it there and reflected in your own life. But yeah, the same thing. Like if I give them a very clear, measurable thing, it's like, hey, if you do these 3 chores, you can have the thing. It's really quite amazing how much they can get done in half an hour. Or if I just say, do all your chores before you can play, and it's nebulous and it's complicated and stuff, then it's hard for them to accomplish. Same thing with us, right? If we're not have clarity on the steps we need to take to get to the thing in a fairly short period of time, then yeah, we're not going to get the wins, and we're just going to kind of fumble around.